Well, good morning, kids. How is everybody doing? Oh boy. I'm excited to start today. I wanted to get on stream last night and talk about certain topics because they happened and it's a glorious dumpster fire and I really wanted to comment on it. But I held fast and I was like, no, I'll save this for tomorrow morning. But before we go into the dumpster fire, that was the DNC day 2. Hello and welcome to everybody on the various platforms. Hello to everybody on Bitwave. Hello to everybody on D Live. Hello to everybody on Periscope. Hello to everybody on YouTube. I hope you have your coffee. I have mine. We're going to talk a little bit about news and politics and enjoy some caffeine in the process. And I hope we all have just a good time. And there's a few topics that I want to touch upon. The glorious DNC dumpster fire, as I referenced, that's one thing we definitely need to talk about. We also need to talk about how Florida got loomered. Is something wrong here with the stream? One moment here. Hey, Jiggle. Can you guys hear me? I'm not seeing my stream here on I'm only seeing bumps. Hold on. What's going on here? Let me check something out. Go to my channel. Okay, I see my stream here, but not in the dashboard. I don't know why the dashboard is not. By definition, it's supposed to be broken. But wait, okay. Well, if you say so. Hold on, let me reload the dashboard. Maybe something just went. There we go. Okay. Try to reload Illustrator. Because I'm live. I'm live on all my platforms. I'm live here on Bitway. Everything seems to be working. Excuse if I sound a little funny. I bit my lip hard and it hurts, so I may talk funny. Just so you know. So, as I was saying, there's several topics I want to talk about today. How the DNC is a glorious dumpster fire. How Florida got loomered. How the general trend here of things are going. I mean, it's pretty hilarious. Biden is officially he's formally selected to be the presidential candidate, the presidential nominee. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what other interesting things are trending. I know Lindsey Graham was trending. Let me see why. Let me just get some stuff up. I also just saw that article about Dolly Parton. We're definitely going to talk about that too. Oh boy, oh boy. I can't find Lindsey Graham anymore here. Let's see what's going on. Lindsey Graham. Oh, of course, he just acts like the rhino that he is. That's another thing that I wanted to kind of address all the rhinos that has spoken there at the DNC. So we're gonna go right into it. We're gonna dive right in. We're gonna talk. We're gonna have some coffee, and let's just see how the stream goes. So let me just bring up here. First of all, you know, let's talk about AOC. I've talked about AOC before. She is probably the stupidest person I've ever seen and heard. And um it's like where to begin with this woman. And last night AOC nominates Bernie Sanders for the Democratic ticket. And Twitter exploded. You have clipped this. They gave her 60 seconds, and that was all she needed to really F things up for the DNC and cause more division within that party that's already fractured. So you have, this is what's kind of going on from my understanding of what's happening in the DNC. You have your more moderate DNC Democrats. Well, I actually didn't even know. Sorry, I was just reading chat. I didn't even know the Squidbillies was still going on, to be honest with you. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a moment. I really want to address this AOC stupidity. So let the consequences be damned here. I'm gonna try and play this video of AOC, and we'll see what happens if YouTube decides they want to copyright strike me or do whatever kind of crap. So be it. But this is amazing to me. This right here is absolutely amazing. Let me see what I can do to bring this up here, because this is pretty damn funny. No, that's not what I want to. All right. Hold up. Okay. Here we go. Let me make sure that you guys can see this, of course. So here we are. Check this out. The audio should be working. We're gonna play this right here. Nope. Hold on. I'm not getting any audio. Why am I not getting any audio? That's not good. Why am I not getting any audio? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hold on. Let me check this out here. Let's try it one more time.
In a time when millions of people in the United States are looking for deep, systemic solutions to our crises of mass evictions, unemployment, and lack of health care, in el espíritu del pueblo and out of a love for all people, I hereby second the nomination of Senator Bernard Sanders of Vermont for President of the United States of America. In a
There you have it. Um, she completely derailed the entire DNC stream last night. Twitter went ablaze. News media outlets and still today are going around trying to do damage control on what she did. All she had was 60 seconds, and that was all they needed. Yeah, she even has an incredibly grating voice. There's nothing pleasant about this woman. In my view, there's nothing pleasant about her. But that's AOC. That's her derailing the DNC. So this is what's going on. You have the media now. The media now is saying, and some journalists are saying, no, this is standard procedure. This is there's nothing unusual about this. There's nothing crazy about this. Yeah, if Bitwave is having issues, please go either to DLive, YouTube, or Periscope. Either of those will work, and because those are up and running right now as well. So they are in deep damage control. They're saying this is all normal. There's nothing unusual about this. If this is normal and unusual, tell me, why didn't this happen back in the previous election of 2016? Because this didn't happen in 2016, if I recall. And I don't recall this happening during both Obama campaigns, when he ran for the first term and then he ran for his second term. At least I don't recall hearing. But if someone wants to correct me on this, please do, because I don't recall this ever happening, that someone else decided to nominate someone else during the convention. So I don't know if this is necessarily standard operating procedure or just this thing happens as they say. I don't quite buy that, frankly. And you have a bunch of people trying to justify what's happened here. I mean, listen, this woman has been a liability for the Democrats since day one. They can't control her. She causes more damage. And they're going to have to deal with her somehow for the next term that she's going to get, because at this point it seems like that there's a chance that she may win again in her district, even though there's like 4 people now running against her. So who knows? There may be a chance that she does lose, which would be amazing. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that when it comes to her thing, her getting reelected to her seat. She was live. Yes, they had given her. I don't know if she was live per se. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe she was. I think she was. To my knowledge, she was. Well, you have her primary opponent who decided to keep running as an independent. That's one person that's running against her. So this person is going to siphon off votes. And you also have the Republican. They actually do have a Republican running against her. I think you also have another 2 people. Basically, no, it's one more person. It's a 4-person race right now in her district. I don't know who the other person is right now off the top of my head. I remember looking this up and it escapes me right now. If she did it on tape and they still okayed it, yeah, it's absolutely insane. If she was live, I feel that she blindsided them. My feeling is that they got blindsided by this because there's been so much damage controls from last night till now, till present. Hey, Mom Patch, welcome to the stream. There's so much damage control right now that I feel that they got blindsided. And even if it was pre-recorded, I still feel... Okay, thanks, Mark. Much appreciated. We're having some technical tweakings here at Bitwave. I appreciate that to make sure the stream works better. But yeah, I mean, I feel that no matter what, if it was live or pre-recorded, they still got blindsided by the reaction of it. So this is what she does, though. This is what she does, and this is the problem with people like her, Ilhan Omar, Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley, who Ayanna Pressley is calling for violence. She's inciting violence, and I don't know how she's not getting censured or she's not facing any sort of consequence in the House for that. You can't do that. Yes, she does that. She was saying to attack Republicans. There's a video clip of her saying that in a recent interview. I think it was like just the interview was a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago. But the thing is, Ayanna Pressley is one of the lower rung of the squad. Nobody really cares a lot about what she says. She doesn't really make any ripples because she's so irrelevant that nobody gives a rat's behind about what she does or says, it seems. Because these three figures, Tlaib, Omar, and stop pause. I'm trying to read. I'm reading what you guys are saying. You don't want the Shatner pause? Spock, he's got a gun. Anyways. But moving forward, though, the thing is this, okay? So the biggest issue is not so much that the DNC is a dumpster fire. The DNC won't amplify her because it would be damaging to them. Yeah, but they do amplify AOC and Omar and Tlaib. That's the problem that the DNC has, that the Democrats have. And the biggest thing here is, hey Spook, yep, I am live, sir. How are you? This is the problem here. So I was starting to mention this before the issues of streaming came up here. So the Democrats right now are a lot more fractured than they would probably want to admit, because you have basically kind of three categories, 3 or 4 maybe categories of Democrats, generally speaking. I mean, there's all flavors, of course, just like Republicans. There's all flavors of Republicans and conservatives. But the major 4 branches that makes up the party, you have your party line Democrats, that no matter where the party goes, those people will always support the party. Those are the kind of the cult think people, the vote blue no matter who kind of people. It doesn't matter who the candidate is. It's kind of like what Pelosi said about AOC, actually. If there's a glass of water with a D on it, these people will vote Democrat, no matter what. It's not a matter of policy, it's a matter of tribalism. So we'll call them the tribal Democrats, because these are Democrats, or cult Democrats, as I like to call them, because that's what they do. Broken glass Dems, maybe, yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, Illustrator, I mean, I'm sorry. They are advocating for physical attacks. When you have people like AOC, who is speaking on behalf of Antifa, not condemning them and putting down demands for them, she's encouraging that behavior. She may not be explicitly saying, go attack people, or go destroy a statue, or go set something on fire, but they pretty much are. They pretty much are. Hey, MZ. Any perceived death threats or insults that MZ may make are no way to be taken seriously and are not in any way related to her Mary Jane consumption. No, sirs. She is not a lesbian either. However, any gross disagreements you may have with her will find you under a mountain of. It got cut off. I was just reading chat. Salt. Okay. The salt didn't copy. Yeah. Mountain of salt. Okay. Interesting to know, MZ. Good to know. No, but going back to what I was saying about the branches, the main branches of what, at least from my perspective, what it seems from an outsider looking in, is you have these the cult Democrats that they'll just follow no matter what. Well, Ayanna Presley has just to reply to Illustrator here on D Live. She had said some controversial stuff, but I think the difference between her and the other three is that the other three have said even more egregious stuff. So comparatively speaking, they have caused more controversy, even though Ayanna Presley is no peach. You know, she's no wallflower when it comes to that sort of thing. It's just that what Ayanna Presley has said compared to the other three, that it kind of pales in comparison. But these, well, we'll talk about that. So these are those Democrats that they just follow the party line. Whatever the party line is, that's what they're gonna follow. Then you have those that, thanks to AOC and other people that have pretty much kind of bogarted the Democrat Party, you have 1/3 of all Democrats that are these far left extreme socialists that have basically commandeered the party. Pelosi has lost control. Pelosi is the old guard, okay? And these people have basically infiltrated and infected the party like a cancer. Excuse me, gotta take a sip of my coffee here. They've infiltrated the party like a cancer, and Pelosi has no control over what these people do. And she has to give them credence because she can't just completely ignore them, because it's gonna sow more division. Because Bernie Sanders took it up the tailpipe last election. He took it up the tailpipe this election, and they're trying to make peace. They're trying to smoke that peace pipe together. You know, to try and keep the party cohesion connected. So you have these socialists and communists, basically. Yeah, they have to keep them together, or else they'll either go third party. You have had some Bernie people saying they're gonna vote for Trump just out of spite, and you have other people that are gonna vote third party out of spite because they're very unhappy with the DNC. Then you have your more traditional Democrats, the Democrats that were the party of JFK, were the Democrats of 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, if not further back. You have those Democrats that are pretty much left behind by the party. And then you have the fake Republicans like Kasich and Lindsey Graham and McCain. These are these rhinos who, Morning Joe, Anna Navarro, these people that claim to be Republican, they claim to be conservative, but they're really not. And this whole Never Trump thing really highlighted that, because they're the opposite of the cult think. They're the opposite of vote blue no matter who. They're just they have this Trump derangement syndrome. So those are essentially like the four major branches of what's happening in the Democrat Party right now. And you have a lot of splintering that's happening because everybody is unhappy with everything that the Democrats are doing as a party. I don't think it's a threat. I think that some people will actually, they have said it on Twitter, that they will do that. I don't know if it's maybe some are a threat, but you will get some people that are so angry with the Democrats that they're going to jump ship. They're going to be done with the party. It's happened already where you've had a couple people, elected officials, switching over their party officially as well. So it's not unheard of here that people will get so angry at their party that they're going to say, you know what, you guys aren't my party anymore. You guys are not the party that I advocated for. You're not the party that I supported. You're not the party that I've given money to, especially if they've given money to the party. I think that's really, really where it comes from. Well, either way, even if they stay at home, the fact that they're not giving their vote to the Democrats, illustrator, is that's really where the problem is for the Democrats, no matter what, because they will not have that vote for them. So it's going to hurt them no matter what. And there have been people online that have done this walk away. If you put the hashtag in walk away, or Blexit, well, hey Mark, which server would you need me to go on? I mean, because I'm using Bitrave to stream, and usually that's the best one. If I try Bitwave server, I have all sorts of buffering stuff. I don't know what to suggest then. Thanks, Mom Patch, for I know Twitter isn't real life, but we didn't do anything, Dispatch. It's your website. I didn't touch anything. I only streamed like I did yesterday morning, so I don't know. Don't blame me. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I'm Pontius Pilate in this. I'm washing my hands of this. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. Let me remove AOC from here because maybe her face is causing the stream to buffer more. But anyways, no, I understand that Twitter isn't a reflection. I know that Twitter is not a reflection of the entire voter base. There's a lot of factors that play into that. I'm not, but it is an interesting insight. It is an interesting insight to see the reaction of Twitter, because Twitter is primarily left-leaning. And if left-leaning Twitter is very angry about something, that does reflect into real life on the left, because it is a very much a lefty platform. All these platforms, even Facebook, it is kind of reflective of what's going on. Does it mean that everybody's going to vote for Trump? No, of course not. But it's an interesting peephole to look through. Somewhat it is. Yeah, Twitter is somewhat the lowest common denominator in a way. I agree with that somewhat, but Babylon B's back. That got reinstated. Yes, I'm on Rave Dispatch because the regular Bitwave server does not function well for me. Whenever I use the regular Bitwave server, I get Buffer City, basically. I still think that it's worth looking at, though. I still think it's worth looking at Twitter. It's worth looking at Facebook. It's worth looking at Instagram. It's worth looking at what's happening on those platforms, because even if they're just a sliver of the reality, it's an interesting sliver to look at. It's an interesting sample to look at. I think the reaction, like from the media, of what's happening and how Twitter reacts to certain things, I find that actually provides an interesting, like I said, an interesting look and an interesting, yeah, like a science experiment. It's kind of its own little bubble that you can look into, and you can glean some interesting tidbits of information about it. So I think it's worth looking at. I think that it's not. I wouldn't discount it completely. But of course, there's also other factors that you need to look at when it comes to politics, how people vote, demographics, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of other factors that come into play. But it's interesting to me nonetheless. So I find this whole dumpster fire of what AOC created online yesterday incredibly funny. Pontius Pilate, that's right. Hmm. Sorry, still drinking some coffee here. So moving on, though, we're gonna keep moving on as we try and work through the technical snafus that we're running into here. So what else is going on here? We got Trump's endorsement trends seems to be holding relatively strong. He endorsed Laura Loomer, back to Laura Loomer. She had a primary yesterday and she won. She is now the Republican candidate for her district in Florida, which is a primarily kind of a bluer district, but Laura Loomer was kind of smart about choosing that district to run in because there's a high kind of like Jewish population, so I'm sure identity politics will play into that a little bit when it comes to her. I don't like I said, I don't like identity politics, but you know, sometimes you have to play the game. You have to play the game, I guess. So she's playing the same game that AOC did. Gonna take some more sips of my coffee here. So is the issue on my end? I don't have any. I don't see anything going on my stream here. Like in the sense that I don't see any. Let's see if I can do something here to reduce the load of my network. Maybe there's something going on my network. I don't know. Huh. Well, while Mark and Dispatch keep taking a look at the stream. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. DLive, YouTube, and Periscope, I've seen no glitches whatsoever. There must be something. He was streaming at 4 megabits per second. J-Danks, really? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, this was happening. The buffering was happening on all channels. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, I had no idea. Wow, incredible. All right, well, I'm not gonna interrupt Dispatch and Mark. I gotta let them do what they're working on here. In the meantime, we'll move on here. So it's very interesting to me to see that Laura Loomer has a real chance of actually getting to the House. So that's very, very interesting. I'm not a fan or a opponent in the sense that I'm not someone who likes or dislikes Laura Loomer. I felt that she has been unfairly targeted by the media. I feel that she has been unfairly targeted by Twitter. I do find a lot of what she does interesting in terms of like when she Loomers people, she jumps them basically and surprises them and asks them a bunch of questions. When she was doing her journalism work, I find that interesting, but she definitely is a victim of this cancel culture. She's definitely a victim of the unpersoning of people online. Whether you agree with her or you don't agree with her, I don't think that that's something that needs to be done. Like, I don't necessarily agree with the Alex Jones infomercial with little news bits interspersed in there, but he has every right to stream and do his show. He has every right to sell whatever products he wants to sell. Yeah, she rushed the stage at Hamilton. She one a few interesting things that she did. She went to like a Hillary Clinton signing. Well, I don't believe in censoring anybody. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. I don't care what your stance is. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with what she does or what she says, but she has done some pretty funny stuff, some pretty memorable stuff. Like one thing was that rushing the Hamilton play at Central Park, calling them out for their hypocrisy and protesting them. She also locked herself to the door to the Twitter headquarters. Um, Then what else did she do? She went to Hillary Clinton's and Chelsea Clinton's book signing and started asking them questions about, Bill Clinton being a rapist and how did like what she asked Chelsea Clinton how she paid for her wedding. So it is kind of funny that she has the gall and the chutzpah, so to speak, to go up to people like even Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and just go get in their face. So I find that interesting about her. Not a lot of people have the guts to do something like that. What do you think about Howard Stern? I don't like Howard Stern. I don't think I don't. He's made a career off of just being a shock jock. I think being a shock jock is probably one of the stupidest things that you can do because it's just doing an appeal to emotion. I don't find his shows entertaining. I don't, but whatever. She'd ask them what? Ask who about that? Because I remember her asking about Hillary Clinton. She asked about what her the fact that her husband is a rapist, and Chelsea Clinton asking about how she paid for her wedding. Uh, things like that. Excuse me. So I find it very fascinating that not a lot of people do that kind of stuff. They don't have the guts to do that. Oh, yeah, she definitely asked troll questions. That's half the fun of what she was doing. I mean, that was half the entertainment. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with that with her stances on certain things, or I don't agree or disagree. I don't get involved with what she does in terms of um in terms of that. I do think that her that Laura Loomer fighting Twitter on the fact that her account got banned. I think that was a legitimate case. She's stuttering John with it. Maybe I don't know. 8 seconds of uninterrupted abyss. Yes, it was buffering that bad. Wow. You guys should have just gone on the other platforms for now, I think. But hey, as long as we're fixed, great. Fantastic. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely entertainment value. I have seen that picture, that painting of Bill Clinton in the blue dress, yes, but there's also now pictures of Bill Clinton getting a neck massage from one of Epstein's victims. And the media doesn't want to address it. The media doesn't want to talk about it. You're not allowed to leave the platform. Aw. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the media's not talking about that, and there's pictures of Bill Clinton getting this neck massage from one of Epstein's victims. And as time passes, I promise you, as time passes, more garbage of this whole Epstein thing is going to come out. It was online yesterday. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can find it now. Hey, G Gallon, how you doing? Let's see if I can bring that up. Let's see. Here it is, New York Post. Oh, no, they're not showing the picture. Where is it? Ah, Dante Davies, yeah. Here it is. Hold up, let me get this here. Let's get this up and running here. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry about the silence, just there we go. Actually, let me see if I can just increase the window a little bit, because honestly it is a little small. Why is that doing that? It shouldn't be. I don't know. That's weird. But anyways, whoops. That is weird. OBS just doesn't like me. That's what it is. So, here we go. Here you have it. Bill Clinton getting a neck massage. Ta-da. Oh yeah. And they still give him like high positions in speaking. You know, very high profile speaking posts at the DNC. Like the Democrats are shameless about this man. They're absolutely shameless about this man, and it's incredible. It's incredible. But there you go. Let me remove that now because I don't want to see his ugly mug. Oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, and Oval Office is also trending on Twitter right now because of also Bill Clinton, where even Steve Colbert, she's got "send help" written on her eyelids. Maybe, yeah. But you even have Stephen Colbert, which Colbert is an absolute moron. But you even have Colbert saying that Bill Clinton is the last person to be lecturing anybody on Oval Office behavior. Because apparently in his speech he was lecturing Trump about his behavior in the Oval Office. It's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. You know, what's happening. It's really hilarious what's happening in politics today. Who was on Harvey Birdman? Colbert? I watched a little bit of that. Harvey Birdman was kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. They won't acknowledge their own criminal foundation since it has only become worse since Clinton. Yeah, you know, Well, the thing is this: they won't address it because it's not politically expedient for them to do so. I promise you, if there was some benefit to them, they would. But there isn't, because it's better to accuse others of what your party does, which is what the Democrats have been doing for quite a while now. Excuse me. So what else is in the news right now? Let's take a quick look here. Sorry, I was just getting some windows cleaned up here because I had too much stuff. Too much stuff. And you also have some controversy here in New York City now with de Blasio's wife, Shirlane. Is that how you pronounce her name? She's branded a disgrace for having $2 million staff of 14, including $70,000 videographer who filmed her baking cookies while 22,000 municipal workers faced the axe, and NYPD is hit with $1 billion in cuts as crime soars. This is the definition of being completely disconnected from reality. Absolutely disconnected. A senior advisor for her is being paid $150K. A videographer $70K. Oh, well, apart from her daughter, who, takes lovely photos on the subway, spreading germs. Let's not even get into that. So it's New York City with, de Blasio and the whole circle of people that surround him, including staff, wife, whatever. They have been nothing but a cancer for New York. They have driven that city into the ground. Now you have people that have left and they're not coming back. You have businesses that close because of how they handle this whole COVID thing. You have money. She made like almost, almost $2 billion disappear. And on top of that, this is what they're doing. They're baking, cooking, and spending $70,000 and giving $2 million of money to their staff while people are risk losing their job. Yeah, but you know what? I know his term is limited, and he's on his last term. And I know, and that's the thing that's frustrating, is that there is no consequence to his actions, except the consequence that the people will suffer. He's not going to suffer from this. And I'm not saying he should suffer. All I'm saying is that he is not going to be facing any consequence. He's going to walk away with his head held high as if he did a wonderful job, because you have the bubble around him who are going to keep praising him, while real people in New York suffer, businesses suffer, people's livelihoods suffer. And not just livelihoods and people, even there's been loss of life. There's people that have been shot. Crime has skyrocketed. The way they handled the COVID thing was a disgrace as well. This whole situation in New York City and state is nothing short of a disgrace. I don't advocate for anyone anyone to get hurt or suffering or anything like that. I hope that people wise up. I hope that people wise up. I hope that people see stuff like de Blasio and they go, you know what? Either let's remove this guy, or the next time we have a chance to get a mayor in, let's get somebody who actually knows what they're doing and actually is working to help New Yorkers and is working to not let people suffer and kill people, basically. Yeah, same thing. Exactly, Mom Patch. Governor Newsom, his wife was criticized for posting social stuff, giving money to illegals, but can't pay for unemployment. Yeah, they can give money to all this other stuff, but they can't do what's right for their own workers because they're trying to mooch off the American people and try and use federal funding for that. But they want to be sanctuary states, and they want to be sanctuary cities, and they want to give money to illegals, and they want to give money for all these welfare and social programs that they cannot afford. Well, that's a good point, Troll CC66. I don't know a lot of people that like de Blasio. Yeah, he still won. He still won his re-election, and nobody's doing anything to remove him. What are they doing to remove him? I don't know that anybody's doing anything to remove him. There are people like that, Jigalen, yeah, that no matter what, they're gonna blame Trump no matter what. Like there are people that blamed Obama no matter what for certain things. Sometimes you have, like I said, you have that cult think, that cult mentality, and it's a shame. You know, it's a real shame. Trying to see what else is in the news that I would want to talk about here. Oh, I did see that article that was linked right at the beginning of the stream. Let me talk about that a little bit, about Dolly Parton, apparently. I was not aware of, well, first of all, I wasn't even aware that Squidbillies was still going on. And I wasn't aware that Dolly Parton had made those tweets. Are those legit? Because I don't follow her or anything like that. I don't know. So I have no idea. Well, someone else will always have to clean up the mess, Illustrator. That's just what it is. So, I don't know. I don't know. The problem is, if you remove him, his lieutenant governor is probably even worse because he was calling for even greater cuts to police, for example. And the best chance that they have, that New York City has right now, is that once de Blasio's term is done, they're gonna have to try and go and elect another Giuliani, basically, another person that's gonna come in, that's gonna really, really, really fix everything up. Oh, this is another interesting thing. There's a Democrat senator who, admitting hitting his wife, cast final nominating vote for Joe Biden. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Senator Tom Carper, who once admitting hitting his wife in the face, cast a final nominating vote for former Vice President Joe Biden at the Democratic National Convention Tuesday night. Carper and a fellow Democrat, Delaware Governor John Carney, cast the final nominating votes for Biden on Tuesday night, in keeping with the tradition of the nominee state casting the final votes. I find that amazing. In an interview, let's see, did I slap my wife 20 years ago? Yes, Carper said in the interview, which the Washington Free Beacon first resurfaced in December 2017. Do I regret it? Yes. Would I do it again? No, he added. The Free Beacon also resurfaced a 2000 newspaper article that quoted Carper admitting to hitting his ex-wife in a deposition. Carper said his ex-wife was left with some discoloration of her left eye and some puffiness as a result of the violent act, according to the deposition. I slapped Diane one time. It was a stupid thing to do. And I regret it now. It caused some discoloration on her left eye and some puffiness, he is quoted saying in the deposition. So, ain't that grand. The final vote was cast by I guess a one-time wife beater. I don't think he's there's evidence that he's continued to do so, but hey, whatever, you know. But yeah, going back to Dolly Parton, I kind of got sidetracked because I saw that come up. It was interesting. Yeah, you know, this kind of goes into what I was saying before. I've said this before on my stream, where I really would wish that singers and actors just don't get involved in politics. People don't listen to Dolly Parton because of her ample political knowledge. They listen to her for other reasons. And the thing is this, I am not in the habit of getting political advice from someone who, for the longest time, lied about herself as well. For the longest time, she claimed that her breasts were real, if I'm not mistaken, and then she comes out and says they're not. I mean, it was kind of obvious that they weren't. But if you're gonna just lie to everybody on national TV, I don't see any reason why I need to take you seriously for any other topic. She may be a huge philanthropist, that's fine and dandy, good for her. You know, but I really wish that singers and actors would just stick to their craft. They are essentially the court jesters of our time. They're there for entertainment, they're there for escapism. They serve that purpose. That's the industry they decided to go into. I mean, they chose that career. And there's nothing wrong with that career. I'm not saying they shouldn't go into singing or they shouldn't go into entertainment. But if you go into that field of work and you play roles for a living, or you sing for a living, or you do any sort of other performance for a living, the goal is to perform, and the goal is to try and reach out to a wide audience and bring them into this world of make-believe, whatever, and tell a story, or sing a song, or reach them at an emotional level. Dollywood breathes a sigh of relief that BLM isn't going to target them yet. Yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, Nicki Minaj weighing in because, you know, everybody knows the political expertise of Nicki Minaj. Or Cardi B. Yeah, because when I'm looking for political knowledge, I go to Cardi B. Oh yeah. For sure. Oh boy. But anyways, the point is this. I decided to do political commenting because that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I focus on. And I study it, I read articles, I pay attention to the news, I do all this kind of stuff. These people are completely disconnected because politics is not their craft, so to speak. And a clear example of this. Did you cover the Biden latest gift, lady? No. What's that about? What are you talking about, Troll K2PO? What? Did I miss something? But anyways, what I was saying is, it's like, if they wanted to go into politics, be political commentators, and write books about politics and stuff like that, great. I mean, I don't care if they want to switch their careers or whatever. They want to become a political pundit. So be it. I mean, that's what happened with Alyssa Milano, essentially. She became a political activist because she has no acting career, so to speak. She hasn't had an acting career in a long time. And the acting career that she had wasn't really all that spectacular to begin with. But um but the thing is this is like, at least if you're gonna do that, I can at least respect Alyssa Milano for this, for the fact that, oh, Joe Biden crashes Joe Biden's DNC speech. This is the kind of first lady this Joe Biden will be. Oh, good God. Anyways, the C, the C in DNC stands for cringe. That's all I can say. But nah, I won't play the video. But what I was saying is that I can at least respect, even though I think Alyssa Milano is an absolute moron in a lot of the things that she says and does, because she doesn't think, she doesn't use her brain. She just acts on this emotional reaction all the time. But at least I can say she's dedicated to being a political advocate for stuff. And she pretty much, that's her full-time job now, so to speak. She doesn't really focus so much on her career, even though she was supposed to get a show. And I think did it get canceled? I think her show got canceled. She was supposed to do something, or I think there was talk about doing a Who's the Boss revival or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, you had some rhinos that endorsed Biden, like Kasich. Yeah, it's the this shows you, like I mentioned that at the beginning of the stream, that this has really brought out the woodwork when it comes to anti-Trump and not real Republicans, not really being conservative. Well, she very much may be, but the thing is, her main job is being an entertainer. That's what she's known for. That's what she's always done. That's what Dolly Parton, the first thing that comes to your mind about Dolly Parton isn't political pundit, it's singer and entertainer. Country singer. She's doing the sequel to Who's the Boss. I don't know why anybody would want to watch that. Who's the Boss wasn't even that great a show when it was on. I have no idea about that troll U6DS. No idea. No idea whatsoever. She's also known for that, Illustrator. Yeah, she's very much known for her assets. Um, that's true. But the point is, when you say Dolly Parton, that's the first thing you think of is music, because that's what she does. That's her craft. That's her career. That's what she's done all her life. She's a singer. And the first thing you think of, for example, if you talk about um George Clooney, for example, the first thing you think of is not political activist. The first thing you think of is actor. Working 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5. Dolly Parton does have one interesting song, one or two, that I find interesting. Coat of Many Colors is one of them that I think is actually a pretty interesting song. So Milano pays someone to stay quiet. Really interesting. I was not aware of that. I have to look at some. If you have some articles about that, I might be interested in taking a look at that. She paid off her victim to stay quiet. I was not aware of that. Is there an article or something about that? Because I would love to dig a little deeper into that and see what's going on. I mean, Milano is also incredibly hypocritical because she, criticized Kavanaugh and she keeps accusing people of being sexual predators, but then she's perfectly okay with someone like Biden, who I thought the whole Me Too and Believe All Women thing had to do with the fact that, if a woman makes a claim against someone, you have to believe it. So she has to believe Joe Biden's victim, no? And accuser, no? I don't know. I really don't know. So we're there. We have, for political expediency, she's gonna say that one person is a rapist while the other, because it happens to be a Democrat, she's gonna say, oh no, 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 we got to back him up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that if that tweet on Twitter is legit or anything. If that article is legit, I don't know. All I can say is that that's why I'm not really saying that Dolly Parton is a moron or anything like that. I'm not criticizing anyone in particular, actually, and I'm not saying that a singer cannot be a philanthropist. I am saying, though, that if you're going to if you're going to stop being an entertainer and you're going to go into philanthropy, politics, you had Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple went into politics. For example. And I don't vilify anybody for doing. Sonny Bono wasn't he a senator or a representative? He was in politics. They closed that chapter as entertainer. They stopped using that platform as entertainer, and they actually acted on their beliefs and went into politics. Yeah, but I don't have a platform that I can abuse. The difference between me and someone like Dolly Parton or someone like Taylor Swift or someone like Alyssa Milano is that they use their platform and influence without any thought of the consequences of that. And not only that, I don't care if they go into politics. My problem is that you first profited using that platform, and then you go to the same people whom you took money from that gave you that platform, and you stand on their necks, you spit in their face, and you tell them that they're horrible people because they happen to disagree with you. That's where I have a problem. Excuse me. That's the issue here. To me. Oh, she was defending her pal for paying off the victim. Okay. I see. That's where I take issue with what singers do. It's a bait and switch, Illustrator, yes. Hey, Joe Chef, thank you for following on DLive, by the way. Thank you, sir. That is where I take issue with singers and actors, etc. Because first you use these people to become famous. First you took their money, you took the fame and glory that came with it. And then you turn it around and you spit in their face. And you slap them in the face, and you call them racist, and you call them bigots, and you call them assholes. I don't think that's right. And like I said, I'm not saying they can't go into politics. And I'm not saying they can't express an opinion. They're free to do so like any other person. It's just that act of that insulting act that they're doing that frustrates me. Exactly like Howard Stern did. Yes. Yeah, you have a bunch of people that basically stand on their fame, which was given to them by a lot of people of all differing backgrounds. And then they just start kicking people in the teeth if they don't agree with you. With them, I mean, if they don't agree with them. I just don't think that's right. I don't know what like I don't like I said, I don't know how legit that tweet or that article is. So I'm not saying that that's absolute truth. It's all carved in stone. That's exactly what she said. I don't know. I'm just speaking more generally right now. I don't know. But hey, this is a good place to take a quick pause and do some shameless self-promotion. Speaking of trying to build a platform uh, and gain notoriety. Is it buffering again? Come on, really? Don't tell me it's buffering again on Bitwave. But anyways, time for some shameless self-promotion. Hey, if you enjoy someone like myself speaking about politics and you know, calling out the hypocrisy of politicians and political punditry, uh, consider supporting me. Go to streamlabs.com/theeternalabyss. Any level of generosity is greatly appreciated. But hey, the greatest gift you can give me is a follow. And the greatest gift you can give me is a subscribe and a notification bell. And sharing, helping me grow on all the various platforms that I'm on. Hey, thank you for the ice cream. Hold on, that's a little loud. I gotta, and long, so I gotta. Thank you for the ice cream, Illustrator. Very much appreciated. Thank you for the support. But hey, the greatest gift that anybody can give me is to give me followers, account growth on all my social media platforms. Help me out on Twitter, Gab, Parler, Minds, YouTube, and Bitwave coins too. Yes. Turkey in the straw, racist. I know, right? Hey, Runer. I think the buffering might be localized this time, Dispatch. I think it's only a few people that may be experiencing that. But yeah, if you guys can help me out on all the various platforms, Twitter has removed like 200 or so followers from me. So help me out on Twitter, help me out on Gab, Parler, and Minds. Follow me on YouTube, on DLive, on Periscope, and Bitwave, of course. Hit the notification bell. Share, spread the good word. Help me grow. I can't do this without you. That's the greatest gift anybody can do for me right now, and I really appreciate that. So, coming back to the stream, I've been on now for about an hour and 20 minutes or so. So I think we may be coming close to the close of the stream for today. Today is going to be day 3 of the convention tonight. We'll see what other ridiculous nonsense comes out of it. I can't even take it seriously at all. I wish I could. I really wish I could, but it's such a clown show. It's such a clown show. So we're gonna see what comes out of it, and tomorrow is Thursday. So remember, tomorrow there's not going to be a morning stream. No morning stream tomorrow for Thursday. Yes, exactly, Illustrator. Thanks for the emote. That's great. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, and we will do a stream tomorrow evening. It should, if I'm not mistaken, I set my schedule to do that at 9 p.m. Is it not? Let me just double check on that because I keep changing the time so that yes, it's 9 p.m. So 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, Thursday. No morning stream. We're gonna maybe even do some live commentary on the last night of the DNC convention here. Hey, that might be fun. I might get another copyright strike from YouTube. Who knows? That'll be entertaining. Start over? I can't start over my entire stream. 24-hour stream. No, maybe one day we'll do some special stream one day where I can do a marathon. I have to stay now. I've been paid. Okay, well, I can stay on for, let's see. That was 11 coin. No, what was that? It's not reloading. Let me refresh. Let me refresh here. That was 11 coins. I gotta deliver an extra hour. I thought that every coin was a minute. You're not a real streamer unless you pass the 24-hour stream. Well, I can't. I don't know if I can do 24 hours because eventually I gotta go to the bathroom, don't I? Chat demands more. Okay. How about you guys ask me am I going to mention hydroxychloroquine? Hey, you know, if it comes up tomorrow, like the evening stream, if it comes up, I may talk about it, sure. Just take it with you to the bed. I don't know you guys. I don't know you people that well. Dispatch, you're getting called out, sir. Real streamers have piss jugs. I might have to invest in one of those if you guys want me to stay 24 hours, yeah. I don't know. Well, okay, how about you guys choose a topic? It will get my video. I mean, one video was already removed. Limbaugh starts in half an hour? Oh, really? I didn't know that he started at noon. Oh yeah, I do have to finish that Indiana Jones game, the Fate of Atlantis. That's right. I got stuck in it. Actually, maybe you guys can help me figure out what I need to do for that. Just boof the C4 patchy. Boof it! You can reduce your carbon footprint by reusing a jug for your piss. Hey, it's recycling. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Well, I can't stay for another hour or so, but what I can do, actively boofing. Yeah. But yeah, okay, well, let's I can stay on for a little longer. Let's see what's interesting that's happening in the Twitterverse. And oh, actually, let me check something out here. Let's look at, I have another news source here. Apple becomes the first U.S. company worth more than $2 trillion after stock rose 60% this year. Goodyear boycott. I don't know about any Goodyear Oh. Goodyear bans Blue Lives Matter and MAGA slogans, allows BLM. Really? Well, ridiculous. A leaked slide from a Goodyear diversity training session shows that the company decided that there are acceptable and unacceptable slogans. Really? That's so. So according to Goodyear, a MAGA shirt is a zero-tolerance hate symbol, but Black Lives Matter is allowed. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Really? And this goes to show like I have a lot of disdain for these diversity training things. They're really stupid all around. It's basically it's thought policing. And you're not helping anybody when you do thought policing. Epic is suing Apple for removing Fortnite? I didn't know Apple removed Fortnite. Why? I wasn't aware of that. Why did Apple say why they removed that? I wasn't aware of that. Huh. That's interesting. Hmm. Interesting. I would have to look into seeing why that's the case. That's interesting. I'm just looking at other news articles that's happening right now. Why do you guys have any source on that as to why they did that? What happened to my Bitwave window? Oh, here it is. I lost you guys for a second there. They removed it because Epic decided to put an alternative payment method in the app, which violated the contract they signed with Apple. Huh. Okay, well, I still don't think that's appropriate of Dolly Parton to say stuff like that. It's pretty stupid and degrading to white people to say stuff like that. I think she could have addressed that point better. Huh. So Netflix and some other companies are allowed to bypass Apple fees, but most aren't. Yeah, Apple has this weird thing about that. I have read about that. Well, you know what? I'm not a fan of Fortnite. I don't really care about the game, but I do think that Apple has some very weird things that they do. Hey, thank you for the lemon. That's Mochi. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. I don't know. That is strange to me. And I agree with that dispatch. I don't think that Apple should be restricting payment methods to only their method. Well, that's how Dolly talks. Okay, well, that's how you could say the same about Trump. You could say the same about other people that people have issues with. Mandatory pay pig message paid with e-money. Spotify also tried to fight Apple on. I have seen developers of different apps trying to fight Apple on different aspects. One is definitely on the payment methods. I have seen that. I know Gab has taken issue with Apple on how they allow Twitter and other social media apps but don't allow Gab, for example. So that's definitely there's a lot of issues with the App Store and a lot of issues with also the Google Play Store. It's not unique to Apple. And it does smack of antitrust, yes. It would seem like it would be it would be kind of ridiculous to allow apps, for example, that simulate human torture like they do on the Apple Store and on the Android Play Store, the Google Play Store. Yet somehow a social media app like Gab is app non grata, so to speak. Oh, let's see. Let me take a look at that URL that you just sent me, Dispatch. Trump calls for the boycott, don't buy Goodyear tires. Yeah, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. That's thought policing. That's thought policing and trying to control people and insulting people. There's a slide from a Goodyear tire like diversity training thing that got leaked apparently, where they are saying that it's okay for you to wear shirts that says Black Lives Matter, but you cannot say stuff. You can't have shirts or hats or that says MAGA or Blue Lives Matter. They said that's hate speech, which, by the way, hate speech doesn't exist. Hate speech is a ridiculous thing in terms of the law. Hate speech is still part of the First Amendment. Huh. 5 facts about Apple's anti-competitive behavior. Learn more. Let's see. Apple charges a discriminatory tax. Apple requires that certain apps pay a 30% fee for use in their in-app purchase system. However, the reality is that the rules are not applied evenly across the board. Does Uber pay it? No. Deliveroo? No. Does Apple Music pay it? No. Apple does not compete with Uber and Deliveroo, but in music streaming, Apple gives the advantage to its own services. Oh no. This could have been a red alert, but I'm going broke because of my newfound red alert addiction, and Dispatch refuses to give me a weekly Wavecoin allowance. Aww. Damn it, Dispatch! Why are you making the people suffer? Ah, I feel bad for MZ now. Yeah, banning hate speech is banning speech, yeah. Yeah, well, that's essentially what it is. You cannot go and say, "Hey, see that guy over there? Punch him in the face." You cannot incite violence. What Ayanna Presley did, for example, what Ayanna Presley did, that is not covered by First Amendment. She was inciting violence, especially for someone who's an elected official. But going back to here for the Apple stuff, I'm just taking a look at this. Apple won't let us share Spotify deals we know you'd love. If we choose not to use IAP, the only payment option on iOS, Apple in return bars us from communicating directly with our customers who access Spotify via Apple platforms. So is this website Time to Play Fair from Spotify? Apple won't let us share awesome deals and promotions like 99 cents for 3 months of Spotify Premium, and we aren't just talking about what we're allowed to do on the app. Worse yet, they often block us from emailing after you register your account, claiming we are circumventing their rules. Apple doesn't allow you to upgrade Spotify Premium with ease. If users want to upgrade from our free service to a premium, great, we love to have them, but Apple bars us from offering that option in our app, instead forcing users to take multiple steps of going to a browser or desktop. Some of our users don't even have a desktop, and to top it off, we can't even tell them that or point them in the right direction. You have to figure it out all on your own. Okay. Apple rejects our app enhancements. We love making improvements and introducing new features to Spotify, but where Apple thinks that our app doesn't abide by their unilaterally imposed restrictions, it routinely rejects bug fixes and app enhancements that would improve user experience and the app's functionality, leading fans to believe that our app and tech abilities are subpar. Nothing could be further from the truth, and of course, Apple never puts any obstacles in front of its own Apple Music app. Apple won't let you access Spotify on all your devices. We are all about ubiquity, being there for you wherever and whenever you want. And Spotify is lucky to be available for fans around the world on nearly every other speaker except for Apple's. After years of unavailability, Apple has finally let us connect with Siri to play our jams. But if you fail to mention our name, I want to play X on Spotify, your Apple device will default to Apple Music. So while this type of integration is a much needed step forward in enabling access to Spotify's users around the world, true parity is still far from being achieved, as Spotify continues to be actively disadvantaged by Apple. Well, all I can say is that I do understand the grievance. Orwell's Animal Farm, what's that? Russia uses Sailfish as their official mobile OS? Really? Oh wow, there's a game based off of 1984, basically? Huh. Fascinating. Nice. Yeah, you know what? That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So, huh. That's interesting. They're trying to shill animalism. I don't know about that, but I can say that's very interesting. That they're bringing George Orwell over to a game before election. That is very fascinating because there's a lot of lessons to be learned from the book from 1984. Yeah, they don't have an exact release date or anything like that. Let's see. Requires 64-bit processor and operating system. 1 GB RAM, 500 megabyte available space. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. I might check this out. It would be interesting to see how they put this in practice, like in the game. That's very, very fascinating. Huh. Good to know. Yeah, no, I'll pass on that. I'm not gonna buy people's waste. That's yeesh. No, I don't think so. Well, the thing about Spotify for me is this. I use Spotify, and as just a consumer, just someone who wanted uh a platform to play music off of. Uh, I was disappointed in Spotify because of the quality of the music files. I didn't like the fact that you couldn't use multiple devices at the same time. Um, and this wasn't an Apple thing per se. This was also a an Android thing because at the time I didn't have an iPhone. I had an Android phone. So there were, to me, they were not 320 kilobits per second. First of all, not all of them were that high quality. You had files that had like actual damaged music files, where the music had audio artifacts that would pop, click, were just get garbled. Um, so there's a lot of problems with the library. Well, I don't know where they got their library from, and I don't think they got it directly from the artist per se. They usually, how that works is they get it from the record label. And the funniest thing to me was this. So at the time, Spotify was getting really popular, and the competitors were coming up. You had one competitor called Ardio, and I decided to check them out, and it turned out that that service that was being a direct competitor to Spotify, which Spotify ended up buying them out. They were using the exact same source files with the same exact flaws and problems, which I was shocked that they just used the same source. So it's not like you're paying for anything particularly different if you use Spotify versus Ardio versus Apple Music, for example. So the other thing that bothered me about Spotify is the same issue that I take with Netflix, is that they keep changing their library. And not in the sense of adding stuff, they keep removing stuff. And they don't even notify you. Your playlist changed without any sort of notification. Yeah, but the thing is this. The problem with Spotify was that if you saw a problem in a file, there was no way to report that to Spotify. That's where I had beef. That's where I had a beef with Spotify, because it's like, well, listen, if there's flaws, let me report it to you. Yeah, but Spotify can notify you. There's nothing preventing Spotify from saying, hey, we can't provide this particular artist or this particular track. They can let you know. No, that has nothing to do with blaming. Listen, Spotify provides a service. I'm paying for that service. If I have 20 songs in my playlist, I'm expecting to see the 20 songs in my playlist. If Spotify has to remove it because the labels removed it, fine. I don't blame Spotify for that. But Spotify could have the courtesy to at least notify me. At least tell me this is going away. Well, they should. They should. And I found that Spotify wasn't super reliable for me back then. Maybe they fixed that as well. I haven't used it in a long time. Plus, I have a very large music library. I don't need Spotify. I know Spotify has way more music than I do, but the thing is, I listen to what I want to listen to. I don't need the entire catalog of music on planet Earth if I'm not going to listen to it. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, listen, if you have the person's profile in your database, you have the playlist in your database. If a change needs to occur, it really isn't a big deal to just send a notification, say, hey, there's a playlist change. In our next cycle of maintenance, your playlist is going to change. You need every fucking piece of music. Maybe. That was just the thing that frustrated me as a user. That there was no way for me to report bad tracks, because I am a bit of an audiophile. I like high quality audio. I want my tracks to be clean. I want them to have a high bit rate. I want them to sound good. Well, I wish that they would give me the choice. I wish that they would give users a choice. You can turn it off or you can turn it on. Yeah, it would be a nice option. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. I think that it wouldn't be a bad thing if Spotify was a bit more conscientious about those kind of things. That's all I'm saying. And then for the longest time, they wouldn't even label tracks as explicit or not. So if I was listening to music and there were kids around me and they're dropping F-bombs and all sorts of bad words, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, oops. Well, I see what you're saying there, Runer, but if I create a playlist, believe it or not, I don't memorize the entire playlist. I'm not saying that everything is cataloged in my head, but it's kind of like when you listen to a CD. Or even better, I don't know if you guys did this when you were young. I used to do this. I'm going to give you a little bit of background into the eternal abyss here. But when I was very young, I loved listening to music on the radio, and I would record tracks on a cassette. I know I'm showing my boomer heritage here. And after I recorded the various songs on a cassette, and I would listen to that cassette over and over and over, your brain kind of gets trained to expect track A, then track B, then track C, then track C, right? So even if I don't memorize the entire playlist, the fact that I've listened to that order of music creates that like like muscle memory, so to speak. And it makes me expect that after one song, I'm gonna hear that other song that I'm thinking that. No, just an audio cassette, not metal tape, an audio cassette. I did have some cassettes that were Dolby Digital and enhanced. Yeah, yeah, making mixtapes. So you have that expectation in your head. You're like, oh, okay, so after Saturday Night at the Movies by the I can't remember who sings them right now. um, there's weak audiophilism. Well, listen, when I was a kid, I wasn't really into audio quality as I am now. There's some bizarre autism at play here. There is. I'm not denying that. I'm absolutely not denying that. But the point is that like I still have my audio cassettes, and I know that if I play one song, like there was once I let me see if I can even remember. There's a series of tracks in one cassette. Like there was "Vulnerable" by Roxette, which was followed by a band called Michael Learns to Rock. Well, see, that's the problem when you're a child. You don't appreciate that kind of stuff. You're right, Dispatch. It's ridiculous. Do I even DAC? What is DAC exactly? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mom Patch has baby voice on tape of Dispatch? Mom Patch, you must release that now. We must hear that. It must be put into the wild. It has to happen now. The genie has been let out of the bottle. Well, I just want to make sure I know what you're talking about, because I may know what you're talking about. I just don't know. I may not know the acronym. Oh, yes. Yes, the pencil rewind method. Mom Patch, really? You have. For real? Digital to analog conversion. Yeah, but the problem with digital, going from digital to analog, is that digital, you're always going to have some compression. In most cases. Not always. In most cases, if you're going from a digital source to an analog, send a Vista tape. Yes, send it to me. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if there's a device that can do that with that gives you a lossless quality. Well, I'm speaking of if you have like a digital receiver, most likely you're going to have some form of compression. It may be minimal, But a true analog will you have everything on dispatch. Oh boy. Mom Patch, you and I have to confer a little bit here because I think we may need to pepper in some dispatch bombs here in my show from now on. Yes, I don't disagree with you, dispatch. But all I'm saying is that if you have a digital source and you're converting it to analog, there is a possibility you can get a perfect reproduction, sure, but the thing is, most likely there has been some compression in the digital form. Because digital by nature, the way digital audio is designed, you can have lossless digital audio, sure. I'm not saying that you can't have that, but whenever you're dealing with bringing something to a digital form, there's a good chance that there is some form of clipping or some form of compression or some form of manipulating of that audio file. But you can definitely there are methods out there to try and get lossless raw audio files, no compression, no nothing. Analog generally is always the best anyways. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm not claiming I know any expertise on audio transformation and conversion. I'm not making that claim in any way. I'm just saying, generally speaking, knowing how computers and technology works. I'm not saying analog is always the best. I'm saying analog is generally non-compressed. Analog, the signal you get in analog is what you get. Analog is just not compressed. An analog signal is I didn't say it was the best. I'm saying that analog signal is generally what it is. It's generally uncompressed. Okay, I did say that because generally it is. Depends. Analog recordings can degrade. It depends on the material that you're using to record on. The problem I'm talking about analog signal. I'm talking about analog signal. I'm not talking about the source material that you're using to record stuff onto. That, depending on if you use like an acetate, if you use an acetate, that can degrade over time. That's the problem, for example, with Hank Williams' original source acetates that were recorded in the studios. And acetates, for those that aren't aware, are basically like records, but they're much less durable. Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of different digital to analog conversions that could work very well. I don't know. An audio stream between Abyss and Dispatch. I'm following what Dispatch told me to follow when it comes to setting up my audio on OBS. So, like, what do you mean? You want him to call in and have a debate about this? I can't. I gotta end the stream. I've been already at this for about 2 hours, and it's about lunchtime for me. Uh, you know what? I don't. Let me check. I think I reduced that because I think I was having issues with DLive actually. Let me see. Well, it seems like, yeah, I had to reduce my audio bitrate. I had to bring it down to like 160, which I don't like. I want it to be higher, but for certain platforms, um, like I was having issues with DLive. Fetch can tell me how to make a stream that uses more data for its audio than the actual video. Yeah. Hey, I want good audio quality. I'm not opposed to that. But all I'm saying is that I don't know if all the platforms that I stream on with Restream, I don't know if it supports 320 because I remember having a higher bitrate at one point, and I was having a lot of issues. I was having a lot of issues with my connection to I think it was DLive. If my memory is not playing tricks on me, I believe it was DLive that I was having problems with. No, I'm not really talking about tape media anymore. I'm speaking about just audio quality of the stream of my streams in general. I think that I can't remember anymore. I think it was DLive that I was having particular issues with. So that's weird because maybe maybe it was just a setting on my computer. I don't know. That's the other thing too. The sound card that's built into my computer is not really the best in the world. So I got to deal with that too. And you got to deal with the internet connection. There's a lot of points of failure here when it comes to that sort of thing. Like I can max out all my settings for a stream if I wanted to. I just don't know how well the stream will come through. It might get choppy, it might get buffery, and all that kind of stuff. It's a laptop. It has an integrated sound card. I wish it had something separate. I know, Dispatch. It's a disgrace. You're absolutely right. I'm not denying that. But anyways, we completely derailed the conversation today. Tomorrow evening is the stream for the weekly stream. I'm gonna have to go. This is hurting you. Aw, Dispatch's first words is I'll do it. Well, you succeeded this time, sir. You succeeded in derailing my stream, Dispatch. Born stubborn. Anyways, I want to thank everybody that watched on the various platforms. I want to thank everybody that watched on DLive, on YouTube, on my mind's drawing a blank. Periscope, that was the other one. Periscope, and of course on Bitwave. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember, follow, share, subscribe, support. That's the best gift you can give me, is get me followers and viewers. We'll see you tomorrow evening. No stream tomorrow morning. I always let my music run now. Yeah. I always let it run. I don't cut my stream off soon right after I end the stream. I let it run for at least 20 to 30 seconds or something like that. But hey, thanks everybody for watching. Remember, kids, I'm going to sign off as I normally do. Remember, kids, don't be complacent. That's my sign off. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Have a great day, kids.